That's when they signed the check. And then I had to go to like a bunch of parties with Clive Davis. Like,
I said there was a party at Clive Davis's house, and that's where the story began.
I know some guys who worked personally with Clive Davis, and they had to leave him before they heard him.
I know we've all heard rumors about Diddy's wild parties and his, shall we say, unconventional business practices, but honey, this tea is scalding. First things first, let's talk about Clive Davis. This man's been in the music industry for decades and he's seen it all. Well, apparently, he's finally decided to spill some beans. And let me tell you, it's not pretty. Davis is hinting that Diddy's infamous freak-offs and his questionable connections might be way more dangerous than anyone ever thought.
Interregnum entered into a relationship with a man, and I just revealed that because that's what the facts were.
Now, hold on to your wigs because this is where it gets really juicy. Sources close to Clive Davis are saying that the iconic record executive hasn't been sleeping well lately. But it's not because of his past successes, oh no, it's because of what he and Diddy allegedly got up to behind closed doors. That's right, you heard it here first. Clive Davis and Diddy weren't just business partners. The whispers say they were lovers. I know it's a lot to take in. But remember, Clive Davis has been open about his bisexuality in recent years. According to one insider, Clive is freaking out. He's terrified that the truth might come out. And what truth is that, you ask? Well, apparently their relationship wasn't just about music and money. It was about passion, desire, and possibly even manipulation. Now we all know Diddy for his flashy lifestyle and his endless parties. But there have always been rumors circulating in certain circles about his preferences behind the scenes.
And there was some women around, or some men around, that he told you were part of the party? You probably going to...
For years, there have been whispers that Diddy's real interests lie elsewhere. Sources are alleging that his parties weren't just wild, they were wild in ways the public might never have imagined. And now it seems like Clive Davis has reached his breaking point and can't keep silent any longer. But why is Clive Davis speaking out now? Well, according to multiple sources, Davis has been quietly observing how Diddy continues to handle young talent in today's hip-hop landscape, and he's not impressed. In an exclusive interview, a close associate of Davis revealed, Clive has seen too many artists, especially young rappers, get chewed up by the industry machine. He's watched what's happened with Diddy over the years, and frankly, he's tired of staying silent. Apparently, Davis decided to break his silence after hearing some pretty alarming accounts from some of Diddy's former protégés. These young rappers, who were once lured by the promise of fame, fortune, and bad boy stardom, have painted a picture that Davis can no longer ignore. We're talking about ironclad contracts, financial manipulation, and of course, those infamous freak-off parties where the lines between business and pleasure became blurred beyond recognition.
I would show up to the party in my little town car. That's town, you know. I grabbed my town car so I could skirt. Puff the SUVs and the road and the Bentley.
Now, we all know that Diddy is a business genius, no doubt about that. But what Davis is warning young rappers about is something deeper than just business savvy. It's about the way Bad Boy Records and Diddy have allegedly treated artists, especially those new to the game. An anonymous source who once worked closely with Bad Boy spilled some serious tea. These kids get signed. They're living the life. Penthouse suites, parties, girls, the works. But when it comes down to the paper, they're signing away their future without even knowing it. Diddy knows the game, but these young rappers don't. And let's talk about those freak-off parties for a minute. These invite-only events, described by some as lavish and exclusive, have become the stuff of industry legend. Even Usher claimed that he witnessed what went down at Diddy's wild freak-offs.
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at.
But Clive Davis isn't laughing. In his most recent remarks, Davis didn't shy away from mentioning these wild parties, implying that young rappers were often thrown into environments where they might not fully understand what they were getting into. One insider who's attended these events tells it like it is. I've been to a couple of Diddy's parties. It's not what people think. It's bigger, crazier, and yeah, it can get a little freaky. There's so much pressure on these young artists to fit in and keep up. The implication here is that these freak-offs might have been more than just a night of fun. They could be part of a larger pattern where young artists, dazzled by the glitz and glamour of Diddy's world, end up making deals they'll regret for the rest of their lives. Now, let's talk about the relationship between Clive and Diddy. Reportedly, it began during the golden age of Bad Boy Records.
Diddy and Clive Davis, have they ever had anything past business?
As Diddy was rising to the top of the hip-hop world, Clive, already a music titan, saw something in him. Not just potential, but an attraction. They say their bond was more than professional, it was intimate. Clive helped Diddy navigate the treacherous waters of the music industry, but in return, Diddy gave Clive access to a world he hadn't seen before. A world of late-night parties, high-flying excess, and yes, those infamous freak-off parties. These freak-off parties have become the stuff of legend in the industry, where anything and everything was rumored to go down. But the real action, according to sources, happened behind closed doors, where Diddy allegedly pursued relationships that went far beyond mentorship. His interest in young male rappers was something people spoke about in hushed tones, afraid to say too much for fear of career-ending repercussions.
Everyone that is mentored under him have become victimizers, liars, thieves, and probably worse things than that.
But he got a boss too, and his boss name is Clive Davis. Clive run him. Diddy don't run himself.
And it seems Clive Davis is haunted by the role he played in this secret world. Now, the question on everyone's mind is, how deep does this relationship go, and how much of Diddy's success is tied to his behind-the-scenes exploit?
He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor.
Rumors have swirled for years that some of the biggest names in hip-hop may have been lured into Diddy's world with promises of fame, only to find themselves trapped in a web of manipulation, sex, and power. For Clive Davis, the recent comments about the exploitation of young rappers weren't just a warning, they were a confession. Davis knows firsthand what Diddy is capable of, and he's terrified that the young artists today are walking straight into the same trap that so many before them have fallen into.
Everyone that is mentored under him have become victimizers, liars, thieves, and probably worse things than that.
Meanwhile, Diddy has remained eerily silent despite the growing rumors. The whispers about his preferences and now Clive's bombshell warning, Diddy has yet to issue a public response. But those close to him say that the silence isn't out of fear, it's strategy. Diddy knows how to navigate controversy. He knows how to handle this. He's been in the game too long to let something like this take him down.
He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor.
And it's true, because Diddy has always attracted a lot of negative attention due to his power-hungry attitude. He's been accused of having tight links with influential people who've helped him stay at the top for a long time and are continuing to do so. The prime example is his mentor, Clive Davis. The fact that Diddy claimed to have given sexual favors to keep Bad Boy Records floating at the top has further fueled these suspicions. People also have certain claims about how Diddy's record company made it big in the industry. For decades, there's been talk about how Diddy got his 1994 deal by being on his knees for Clive Davis. So how does Clive fit into this picture? Well, he framed the picture in the first place. This 90-year-old music producer has already come out of the closet. Yes, after 2 failed heterosexual marriages, Clive admits that he has queer sexual preferences.
My second marriage failed because I had been 100% heterosexual up until that point.
This astonishing revelation has brought out startling reactions from the audience and fellow musicians. One fan commented, "I find it interesting that Clive decides to come out at this time. He could have lived out his life in secrecy and none the wiser. Strange world we are living in." At the same time, it helped the audience understand how the dynamics in the Hollywood industry work. Clive ruled over the music industry and introduced us to many stars, including P. Diddy. This game of transfer of powers indicates that to stay at the top of the game, you have to bow in front of the gods of the time, like Diddy did in front of Clive. But now it seems like the tables have turned. The master has given control to his learners, and this is what Jaguar Wright also mentions about Diddy.
He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor.
As fishy as Ms. Wright's claims are, we can't deny that her accusations are prone to a ton of speculation. After all, what business does an old man have with a 23-year-old young boy to have supported his music career as much as Clive did Diddy's? They must have been in a relationship for sure. Additionally, her other indictments seem reasonable too. When a person experiences suppression and domination for a long time, that lifestyle becomes a part of his personality. The only change is that instead of being submissive, you become the one inflicting inflicting superiority upon others, which in worst cases escalates to criminal tendencies. This mentor-mentee turned love interest situation is the reason Diddy has made it this big in the industry and has stayed in an ocean full of sharks for so long. He had the best teacher after all. But it doesn't stop there. Diddy has made it his life goal to take all his master's ways and apply them to his own life in one way or another. Let's not forget the time when Diddy acted suspiciously at a party with Fabulous.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag?
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit.
No, I
like that.
You can clearly see Diddy calling Fabulous Daddy while he was drunk, but Diddy has denied ever being at a party with Fab. During an interview, the Bad Boy Records founder additionally insisted he never really partied with Fabulous, to which Fabulous replied, "We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party." Later, in an interview with The Breakfast Club, Fab came clean, saying, "He said something to me a long time ago at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what did you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You gonna make me mess up the wedding? No, that's something a guy says to a girl." Even fans had a similar reaction to Diddy's inconspicuous flirting with Fab. One of them wrote, "Yeah, Diddy is flat out telling Fab he wants to get with him and asking why it hasn't happened, and Fab is like, no WTF, and you can see he's super uncomfortable and wanting to GTFO of there." Diddy sounds like a woman asking a man why he hasn't called her. Diddy also confirmed in a roundabout way that this incident did happen. He did ask Fab to shop. In an interview with Breakfast Club, he said
you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes.
Well, that was not the same way people would ask their co-artist to go shopping. It was definitely more than what Diddy is trying to downplay. To add to that, the Get Rich or Die Tryin' rapper took aim at Diddy, calling him out on Instagram for being gay. He wrote in his now-deleted post, "Currently recovering from pettiness. Sorry, I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow." Diddy has also hit on a lot of the straight artists in the hip-hop world, such as 50 Cent. 50 Cent is not one to shy away from talking about the truth, so when Diddy hit on him, you better believe 50 Cent was going to recall the whole story in the media. Diddy has a reputation of taking his love interests shopping. Looks like shopping is his direct hint of letting the other person know that he finds them attractive and wants to sleep with them. So when Diddy offered to take 50 Cent shopping, he was rightfully taken aback. Luckily, 50 Cent was already at that point in his career where he didn't feel threatened turning down these aggressive advances by the hip-hop mogul. Diddy's former bodyguard also recalled some interesting stories where Diddy went shopping in an exotic bookstore with him. Gene Deal, his bodyguard, naively expected him to buy normal porn magazines, but Diddy wasn't there for just magazines. He ended up buying butt plugs.
He picked up some things from up here on my left side, and then he picked like quite a few of them down. I'm like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there, and it said plugs.
Not only this, Gene even once caught him having sex with another young rapper in a hotel room. The two had to come out of the room with just towels wrapped around themselves. Even then, Diddy was rather unfazed and didn't seem to mind that Gene had seen them together.
Grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Jai was like, "Yo, what's going on? Yo, G, that's my cousin." He know me well.
These allegations against Diddy aren't just baseless rumors either. In fact, he has even been questioned by federal investigators regarding him having sexual relations with underage boys. Most of these were young rappers he had forced into performing gay sex with him because he had the influence to make or break their music careers. This came after it was revealed that Diddy slept with Usher when Diddy was in his late 20s. He and Usher used to sleep in the same bed at night. Although Diddy tried to handle the situation and make it sound less weird, we can't think of one reason why it would be appropriate for a grown-up Diddy to be sleeping in the same bed as Usher.
It's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like that's how. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes.
Usher also revealed he and Diddy would attend sexual orgies when Usher was, let's say, not old enough to have this all, which is a crime in the United States and most nations with laws concerning minors. Diddy even forced Usher into drugs and alcohol. When Usher was asked whether he would ever send his kids to a place like Diddy's, he was very quick to respond, "No. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp? Hell no." Another rapper, Exhibit, has also come out to share his terrifying experience with Diddy. After having a fantastic night at his house, Diddy brought him out clubbing, and it wasn't until later that they found out this club wasn't like any other club they'd been to before. Instead, it turned out to be a pretty blatant gay bar.
She point over the corner. It's two dudes kissing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the f is this?
And not only this, but Exhibit also hinted toward his very terrible encounter with Diddy when he got dragged into the party.
So Puffy tells you that
she will videotape you with fingers in the booty. And I was like, what the f does that mean?
Yeah, what
know
does
what
that mean?
So then I go back in the house and I ask her, what the f are you talking about?
What is the point of saying anything about any other person when they are not even bothering you? But this is Diddy, who always shows himself as superior to the younger rappers. And Exhibit also admitted that right now, Diddy might have had an episode with Superhead. He said, I guess he had some prior incident with her that he don't want nobody to know about. The rapper Jaguar recalls one such incident where someone walked in on Diddy making the new singer Christopher Williams go down on him.
The door wasn't locked, so she didn't think twice about just walking in, and when she walked in, she saw Christopher Williams performing fellatio on Puff.
One thing to perform sax acts with doors unlocked, but Diddy was even more unashamed. He didn't bother stopping either. From what she said, it was disturbing because, you know, they didn't stop. Well, Diddy is a strange man, and strange things turn him on. One of Diddy's favorite things to do is luring straight men into his cars and making them have sex with him. He did the same thing to rapper Method Man in LA. Method Man was sitting in a club in LA when Diddy approached him. Diddy must have been attracted to him because he then proceeded to hit on him in a rather weird way. Instead of communicating properly and then inviting Method Man to his place like a normal person, he decided to send someone else to trick him into sitting in the car. Maybe this is like a game for Diddy, and he enjoys putting these straight men in uncomfortable positions. However, some people chose to sympathize with Diddy's family. As one of them wrote, I feel bad for Diddy's children because when all his hot mess expletive comes out, it's not going to be a happy day for them. Diddy has been a hot mess, and I don't even know him, but what is already out is horrible. Money isn't everything when you are a child and have to face your parents' truth. That is bad. Face the public, face friends and family is priceless. Money has no meaning. This may affect them mentally and physically. People are cruel and have no limit to expressing mess. One of them even went on to say, Diddy will come out in the next 5 to 10 years. They need to have a surviving Clive and Diddy. Some other people have simply chosen violence in response to this fiasco. A hater who has had enough made a nasty prediction, saying, Diddy will go down. It's just a matter of time. What do you think about all these allegations? Do you think there's any truth to them, or is it all just industry gossip? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more juicy celebrity news and gossip. Until next time, stay fabulous and stay curious. Bye. Stay curious. Bye. Stay curious.